During a time of conflict, whether declared war or within smaller areas or between two groups of people, there are usually counterclaims and claims made as to who was the bad behavior or who was worse or so forth. And in the case of the American Revolution in upstate New York, there was an incident involving a young woman named Jane McCrae, Jenny McCrae, who was killed. The question of various writers describing these events, both using sources from then and more recently, was she killed by her Indian Native American escort? Was she killed by unintended firing from either the British or the American side? Those are in dispute. What is not disputed is she was subsequently scalped, perhaps stripped of her wedding dress as she was on her way to meet her husband at the fort for a wedding. But what was known was she was dead. There was much made of this, that the British had been brutal, that the Americans had allowed this young woman to go unescorted through basically a battlefield between the British and the colonial side. And that continued to be a topic which incentivized or encouraged, in fact, participation by the armies fighting for independence. She became a cause célèbre, as it were, and in her death and the horror of her scalping, she was a reason why it is thought, at least, that great numbers of men came forward to serve in the Continental armies. In time, there were apologies by the American and by the British military, more so the British, but certainly also the military, who had failed to protect this young woman as she was crossing through from the American to the British side. What was not known to her, apparently, was within very close distance of where she was living, there was a massacre of a family the day or the day before she was to go and walk to the fort. So there is a third view that says she was careless in what she was doing, or that her to-be husband, who was a British lieutenant, was careless in allowing her or encouraging her to go. So we now have blame them, blame us, blame the victim. It is a perfect storm of counterclaims and is a model, as it were, for how many counterclaims arise in times of stress between different groups. Thank you.